Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Blake here with Trade Tracer. Make sure you go ahead and click that like and subscribe in the bottom right if you find this video content valuable. Also, check out tradetracer.io for signals. And I'm also going to be linking my Telegram group, so check that out in the description. All right, so in this video, I'm going to be recapping last week's trading, get you prepared for the week ahead, and also get you set up for some of my favorite trade setups. So without further ado, you guys know none of this is financial advice. As always, we're going to start on the higher time frame. We're going to go ahead and pull up the monthly here. As you can see, one of the things that I want to point out is that we actually did confirm an uptrend on the monthly time frame on Friday. So far, now the month isn't closed. We do need to still close above this candle's high to confirm that uptrend. But right now we are doing that without MACD. So the momentum is not really strong on the monthly time frame. You guys can see when we start breaking below the 10 SMA, that's this blue line that I have highlighted right here. When we start breaking below that with a bearish MACD, that's never a good signal. This is the 2000 high. Once again, here's the 2008 high. Broke below the 10 SMA without MACD in your favor. And we're actually looking like we wanted to do that again with coronavirus with this candle right here. But we've obviously had a very sharp V rally. And so we're just going to have to see how the rest of this month plays out. Now, on the weekly time frame, we actually are in an uptrend. You can see we did catch support at this 10 SMA right around the 296, 297 level, and the MACD is still rising on. So on the weekly time frame, if you're an investor or a position trader, the odds still favor higher prices on the weekly time frame. Now, finally moving to the daily time frame, this is what all of our trades are based off of, all of our swings. And let me go ahead and pull up some of my favorite indicators, the volume by price and 10 SMA. We're going to look at some VWAPs as well. Now, one of the things that I want to point out here is I have this volume by price anchored well, let's go ahead and anchor it where I want to anchor it from the highs that we made. Okay, so these are the February highs, and you can see we did come up to this volume zone, and you can see right here, this is what I consider a volume gap. All right, and we gapped below that, and now we're actually closing below the 10 SMA with a bearish MACD on Friday. And on the S&P 500, we actually are confirming a downtrend. So for my rules to trade, a downtrend is the candle that breaks below the 10 SMA. So close below, that's this candle right here that happened on the 17th. That would have been Wednesday. Thursday, we didn't recover that 10 SMA. And then Friday, we had a nice gap higher. And pretty much all day, as you guys know, just kind of sold off. And so right now, technically, from a technical perspective, from a price structure perspective, the S&P 500 is in a downtrend. Now, we won't actually hit price weakness confirmation until this candle, we close below this candle's low, which is, call it 300. It's 300 and a penny. Okay, so if the S&P 500 closes below 300, I'm only really going to be looking for short setups, but since the higher time frames, the weekly time frame is still in an uptrend, it's still not a high probability trade for me, so I don't like to short the market. Markets like to go higher, so I'll probably just be sitting primarily in cash. Now, those of you that follow, you know that the majority of our investment portfolio actually is very conservative. We're almost 40% in the bonds and TLT, and that's due to this price structure right here. Now, if this reverses back on Monday and we get some price strength confirmation, we confirm an uptrend, later in the week, I'm going to be, loading up on some of my favorite names. Now, but right now, the best option to trade is to not trade at all, okay? You don't want to try to force trades. You don't want to try to trade every single day. Some days just aren't the greatest days to trade. You got to always only trade when the market is in your favor and the trades present themselves to have really high probabilities. And that's how you can really be consistent throughout your trading career, all along with managing risk exposure. All right, so the S&P 500 right now is in a downtrend. Doesn't look fantastic, okay? So I could see some sort of pullback. What are some of the levels that I'm looking for to hold that support? Well, not that one. Here we go. This is the anchored VWAP. So this is a volume weighted average price. So I have it anchored from this reversal candle that happened on May 14th. So what this is telling you is that the volume weighted average price, it's a moving average. This is where the majority of shares have traded this moving average, this volume weighted average price. Now, I would expect to, if we do, see some lower prices later on in this week, I would expect to see some sort of, bounce or some, choppy trading in this area right around the 304, 305 area. So keep a close eye on that. You can also see we do have a very, pretty solid volume bar over here on the right side. So this is telling you where shares have traded hands. Okay, so when we have lots of volume in a certain price range, that's typically going to be a support zone, provided the price doesn't break through that. Now, if price breaks through that, it's going to become a supply zone instead of a demand zone. But keep that in mind. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we're very cautious. We are primarily in cash and being very patient. Okay, so that's how we're playing this market right now. And now if we go over to the NASDAQ, the Qs actually look fairly strong to me. Okay, we are actually hanging above the all-time highs. So this 237.47, this was the high that the NASDAQ put in. It broke out of this high on June 5th, came back, retested it, and then reclaimed it again on the 15th. And right now we're just kind of basing above that all-time high. So that's actually a positive signal. Okay, so these are your stocks like Apple, Tesla, Netflix, Amazon, Google, all of your tech stocks. So this is what the QQQ, the NASDAQ, is made up of. And obviously there's no surprise there. The stocks have been strong all year long. So keep a close eye on that. Now, what do I like? What am I looking for into this week? Now, obviously, you guys know we have a good chunk of our portfolio allocated to bonds. So, yeah, we do have some TLT. And there's a few reasons for this. First of all, we do have uptrend, okay? We have rules to trade, and I do have a rules to trade video. If you go to my channel, you'll see, quote unquote, rules to trade. You guys know exactly what I'm looking for in price structure with my rules to trade video. Now, what we have here is we do have confirmed uptrend with a MACD that's bullish and continuing to run higher. There is some resistance right around this 164.10 level. Okay, you can see the majority of shares since, pull this over to the highs that we made. Okay, so yeah, if we move that to the highs, you can see we do have some resistance right around that 174.10 level, along with this VWAP. This is the anchored VWAP, average volume weighted price, and that's going to be some resistance as well. So we do have some overhead resistance in this area, but if we can move past that, I do think bonds are going to catch a bid and probably going to run much higher. So right now, this is a hedge, and this is a hedge for the biotech sector. All right, now, all of you that follow me, you understand that if you follow me on Twitter, I posted a chart talking about raindrops, and you guys are like, what the heck are raindrops? Well, raindrops are a volume bar chart, essentially. So instead of having candles, that candle itself will tell you where the volume has occurred in that day's trading. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up these raindrops for my charting tools. Now, in order to get these raindrops, you got to have TrendSpider. If you guys have any questions about that, just shoot me a question in the comments below or hit me up on Twitter. I'll send you a link to them. Awesome guys there. But on this candle here, we had one balloon raindrop that broke above the 10 SMA, and then we finally had another balloon raindrop that confirmed price strength. So we got in on Thursday on this balloon raindrop, and then added again on Friday, and those options are up more than 20% already. They're doing absolutely phenomenal. Now, if we go ahead and move this just to the regular candles, you can see how strong the biotech sector was on Friday. Now, if we compare that to the S&P 500 on Friday, you can see the S&P just sold off all day long. Well, luckily for us, we didn't have any exposure in the S&P, and all that we were trading was actually LabU, and LabU just had an amazing day. So the reason that I trade LabU is because I'm just looking to get a little more leverage on the XBI biotech sector. Okay, so LabU is the triple leveraged, basically XBI. All right, so that is one of the trades that we're still holding. I really like it, but as you guys know, that follow me, I like to put the odds of the trade in my favor, and one of the ways that we do that is by trading in agreement with the general market. Now, the general market is the S&P 500, and you guys know that this is now in a downtrend, so I'm going to be extremely cautious with my LabU calls, okay? So keep a close eye on that. Also, one of the things I'm going to be looking at for the remainder of this week is gold, okay? So GLD, I think, has a phenomenal setup. You guys can see that I have this alert trigger set at 164.42. So if you're not a member and you're looking to, capitalize on some of these trades, I'm telling you right now, if GLD closes above that level, I will be taking that long, because that is a confirmed breakout with price strength confirmation above this extremely big volume shelf that's been consolidating for 2 months now with a bullish MACD. So keep a close eye on gold, and if I do that, I might dip my toes into gold miners, triple leveraged NUGT Nugget. So those of you that follow me, you guys know I like to trade some of the leveraged funds. Puts a little bit extra juice on some of the trades for you. Now, some of the leaders, your Apples, your Google. Google actually looks pretty tired to me. You can see this big volume shelf. Couldn't confirm price strength above this 1450 level, essentially, in the bearish MACD. So I don't love Google. Netflix has been really strong. We actually took a trade on Netflix. The trade went for, our trade went for over 35%, but if you held it, it went for much more than that. Also, Roku. Roku has been one of our big gainers for us. Take a look at this chart. Roku is just absolutely super strong. We entered Roku on a break above this 114.20 level, took it for this trade, and just continued to rip higher. Now, some of the ones that we had some amazing trades on, like Boeing, Boeing actually looks fairly bearish to me right now, okay? So we're closing below the 10 SMA, and I'm really looking to see if some of these VWAPs hold, okay? So this 180 level, 179 level, that's what the next level I'm going to be looking to see if it can hold. We already broke through this VWAP, the 188, 189 level. Disney also looks fairly bearish to me. This is a huge bearish engulfing candle on Friday. Broke through both VWAPs and confirmed a downtrend. Okay, so definitely not in Disney right now. We have this gap that needs to be filled right here. You can see there's a volume gap. So, we could retest, this 109, 110 level on Disney. Keep a close eye on that, provided the market wants to turn lower. But let's go ahead and wrap it back up with the S&P 500. So just to recap, guys, we're being very cautious right now. Okay, the market is technically it's in a downtrend. We don't have price weakness confirmation yet, and the majority of our capital is in cash. We're looking at bonds and gold, and we're keeping a close eye on our biotech calls. Okay, so that's all that I really have for you guys today. You can always shoot me a DM on Twitter. The handle is @TradeTracer. I'm going to be linking that below. And I hope you guys found this video useful. Thanks. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.